Good day. We continue to read Thoughts for Young Men by J.C.Ryle. And we've been looking at reasons for exhorting young men. And now we have reason number 5. Ryle writes, "For another thing, young men need exhorting because of the sorrow it will save them to begin serving God now. Sin is the mother of all sorrow, and no sort of sin appears to give a man so much misery and pain as the sins of his youth. The foolish acts he did, the time he wasted, the mistakes he made, the bad company he kept, the harm he did himself, both body and soul, the chances of happiness he threw away, the opportunities for usefulness he neglected. All these are things that often embitter the conscience of an old man, throw a gloom on his evening of his days, and fill the latter hours of his life with self-reproach and shame. Some men could tell you of the untimely loss of health brought on by youthful sins. Disease racks their limbs with pain, and life is almost a weariness. Their muscular strength is so wasted that a grasshopper seems a burden. Their eye has become prematurely dim, and their natural force abated. The sun of their health has gone down while it is yet day, and they mourn to see their flesh and body consumed. Believe me, this is a bitter cup to drink. Others could give you sad accounts of the consequences of idleness. They threw away the golden opportunity for learning. They would not get wisdom at the time when their minds were most able to receive it, and their memories most ready to retain it. And now it is too late. They no longer have the leisure time to sit down and learn. They no longer have the same power, even if they had the leisure. Lost time can never be redeemed. This too is a bitter cup to drink. Others could tell you of the grievous mistakes in judgment from which they suffer all their lives long. They would have their own way. They would not take advice. They form some alliance which has been altogether destructive to their happiness. They chose a profession for which they were entirely unsuited, and they see it all now. But tragically, their eyes are only opened when the mistake cannot be retrieved. Oh, this is also a bitter cup to drink. Young man, I wish you knew the comfort of a conscience not burdened with a long list of youthful sins. These are the wounds that pierce the spirit. This is the iron that enters into the soul. Be merciful to yourself. Seek the Lord early, and so you will be spared many a bitter tear. This is the truth that Job seems to have felt. He says, "For you write bitter things against me, and make me inherit the iniquities of my youth." So also his friend Zophar, speaking of the wicked, says, "His bones are full of the sins of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust." David also seems to have felt it. He says to the Lord, "Do not remember the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions." Beza, the great Swiss reformer, felt it so strongly that he named it in his will as a special mercy that he had been called out from the world by the grace of God at the age of 16. Go and ask believers now, and I think many of them will tell you much the same. Oh, that I could live my younger days over again. Oh, that I had spent the beginning of my life in better fashion. Oh, that I had not laid the foundation of evil habits so strongly in the springtime of my life. Young man, I want to save you all this sorrow if I can. Hell itself is truth known too late. Be wise in time. What youth sows, old age must reap. Give not the most precious season of your life to that which will not comfort you in your latter days. Sow to yourself rather in righteousness. Break up your fallow ground, sow not among thorns. Sin may go easily from your hand, or run smoothly off your tongue now, but depend upon it, you and sin will meet again before too long, however little you may like it. Old wounds will often ache and give pain long after they are healed, and only a scar remains. So may you find it with your sins. The footprints of animals have been found on the surface of rocks that were once wet sand, thousands of years after the animal that made them has perished and passed away. So also it may be with your sins. Experience, says the proverb, keeps a dear school, but fools will learn in no other. I want you to escape the misery of learning in that school. I want you to avoid the wretchedness that youthful sins are sure to produce. This is the last reason why I exhort you.